And welcome back. You know, one of the worst things in life is being accused of a crime that you did not commit. Well, that happened to a man who worked at the AutoZone in National City, but he might end up getting the last laugh. Joaquin Robles is his name. He was wrongly accused of stealing money from AutoZone back in the year of 2000. In the beginning, Robles said he was innocent, insisted he was, but he apparently pressured so strongly by the management that he finally admitted to stealing $800 in exchange for keeping his job. Well, he was eventually fired, and he successfully sued the company. Robles was awarded $7.5 million, and he joins us now, along with his lawyer, Sean Simpson, to talk about this whole situation. And good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Joaquin, I want to ask you, first of all, and we'll get to the settlement, but I want to ask you how it happened. I mean, they pulled you into the office, and what did they say to force this confession out of you?
The first period of the interview, you can say that there was questions, there was comments, calm comments.
Mm-hmm.
But after an hour and a half through the interview, everything changed. First period of the interview, you can say that there was questions, there was comments, calm comments.
Mm-hmm.
But after an hour and a half through the interview, everything changed.
Okay, they basically said to you, admit to this or lose your job. Is that right?
Admit to it. We'll keep it here.
We'll keep it quiet.
Nobody will be harmed. Think about your children. You can
Think about your children.
Exactly.
So
that's what he
an
said.
emotional plea.
Exactly. He said, think about your children. Think what's going to happen to them. Because if I pick up the phone, you're going to be picked up by the police and you're going to go to jail for 2 to 3 years.
And so what did you say?
What could I say?
You said, okay, I did it.
I said, well, tell me what you want me to write down.
And so you actually wrote down a confession.
He dictated.
He dictated for you, and you wrote this
Everything,
confession
yes.
down. And you never stole this money.
Never.
All right, let's talk to your lawyer, Sean Simpson, over here. Sean, obviously, he came to you and said, look, I've been wrongly accused. You were fired. You eventually ended up getting fired. They said he was going to keep his job. They ended up firing him and actually took the $800 out of your last paycheck.
Yes, my last paycheck was zero.
Okay. Sean, then what happened? You decided, well, this is wrong, and you went to court.
Right. I knew Joaquin, and I knew him to be a good, honest, hard-working man that wouldn't have stole the money. So I believed him, although I knew it was going to be an uphill battle because they had a written confession. So what do you do? But I believed him enough that I thought, hey, at least let's try to get your paycheck back. And this all started out saying, hey, give the guy his last paycheck, like 700 some odd dollars.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't do that. They went to the EDD and shut down his efforts to try and get some unemployment to help support his family. And it just escalated into a whole big battle. We went to trial once back in October '02. We got a $73,150 verdict back then against just for his compensatory loss of earnings and emotional distress.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went up on appeal, came back, and we had a second trial on the punitive damage issue.
Now, this is a jury trial. So
That's
a
correct.
jury of your peers is sitting there listening to this. How did it get to $7.5 million?
Well, all we asked the jury to do was try to make enough money that this company, the jury is aware of, it's a nationally known, publicly traded company, and their net worth is somewhere between $700 million and $900 million. So they're not a poor company, and I just asked the jury to do what they thought would be the right amount to make this company stop doing what they did and change their policy. They've got a 200-page written policy that basically walks the interrogator through this process to coerce confessions.
So they actually have a policy on how to deal with these things, and they followed the policy, but the jury decided that this policy was coercion.
Yeah, that was essentially the jury's finding, is that the corporation was responsible for this because their policy authorized, ratified, or encouraged the behavior of the interrogator.
Joaquin, what has this done to your life since then? I mean, this was 5-6 years ago now. Do you have a job now? Has it hurt you personally and professionally?
I thought I was over it, but during trial, giving my testimony, I'm not that feeling type of guy. I don't cry that much.
Yeah.
But
it's an emotional thing for you to be accused of a crime.
Exactly. Going back to it, and they were asking me, how do you feel now? I feel okay, but every time that I go past the AutoZone, I get remembered.
Yeah.
I remember what happened, and there's a lot of AutoZones.
Yeah.
And
how are your kids doing?
They're doing great.
Good.
Great. they're doing fine. They're here in San Diego.
All right, Joaquin. And finally, obviously, AutoZone is appealing this. They're not happy with the settlement. How do you feel about that appeal, and when's that going to happen?
The appeal will start shortly. There's probably going to be some post-trial motions in the trial court, and then the appeal, just like the last case, will take another year and a half or so to go up through the reviewing court. And I think that the jury I believe they did what they thought was fair, and I hope that the courts in review see it as being fair. And personally, I think that it's probably a drop in the bucket for AutoZone for what they did. And I think, I don't think they're giving each other high fives about it, but I think they're certainly relieved that this isn't going to do anything to affect them. But I hope it's enough for them to change their policy.
All right, thanks a lot. Sean Simpson, attorney, Joaquin Robles, falsely accused of a crime he didn't commit, and certainly I hope it all works out for the best for you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, we appreciate you coming in. Thanks a lot. Still ahead.